before. Just I'll show it in screen. I'm wondering if anyone's got audio at the moment. Audio? Nope, you should have my audio. We're just going for sound. No sound. Oh, it's come now. Okay. We're in business by the sound of it. No pun intended. Japers. We're going to get all these complaints again now. So when are you going to get professional technicians? I've got Jane. All right, going to hide that. Oh, now the camera's back to front. That's cool. We're going with the back to front camera, but we've got sound, so we'll sort the camera out again next time. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bit of, oh, that's good. Thanks, Hal Cyrillin. Thank you for that. This is the GGR, and we are all having a bit of fun. I'm in the office, of course, in Les Sables d'Olonne. You wouldn't want to look on the other side of here. We had a nice, neat, tidy office. Some of you might have seen it before. It's completely trashed. We had a very hectic series of inspections and paperwork issues and so on with the entrance for the previous 10 days. And we finally got them away yesterday, which you saw with the live that didn't work because of the signal offshore. We're all set for the live. It was rolling and we could just see the signal dying. And part of that is because there is normally 65,000 people live in Les Sables d'Olonne. And now there's probably 250,000. They all have their holiday resorts here, and it's stressing out the system, the telecommunication system. So that mucked up the live yesterday. You probably saw it was a bit chaos on the course. It was quite fun for all of us, but it wasn't planned that way. But a few things went wrong. We had a sudden last change volunteer for the start boat, which was Christopher, a retired GGR entrant who retired about a month ago. He's been helping us as a volunteer. So Georgie jumped on with him, and they were having trouble. There was a lot of current out there and so on. Long story, but the line compressed. We got the start gun away, and then we dissolved the start line so everyone could carry on sailing. Now, the race, the SITraN Challenge race, is actually very simple. There are no rules, and it's just get going. You can have a single-handed sailor, you can have 2 crew or 3 crew on board, and it's meant to test systems for us. We've given them a whole series of tasks to follow through on, and some of them are getting it right. A few are getting it wrong. I just had a call from one entrant who called the emergency line, which is a secret line for when someone is in distress. And he got that wrong. It should have been on the hotline. And then we've had people ringing the hotline or private mobile numbers instead of hotline 1, hotline 2. We use these different phones for different applications during the race, okay? And so that's important they understand. I mean, they get it on a laminated sheet because it's part of the crisis management planning, but obviously it takes a while to settle in. Just like us, because this is the first live that I've actually done since the end of March. And we've been incredibly busy. Anyway, end of March was the end of the mini globe race, which was a huge lot of fun and amazing adventure and big success and so on. And so this is the first live, and we slapped it together very quickly. We turned everything on, boom, and I'm having to use a remote camera, which overrides the mic because my computer's failing. My C and G do not work on my keyboard, so I use an external keyboard, and my finger pad doesn't work, so I use a remote mouse that's got the bit missing. I'm just talking about our technology here because we do have the best of some things, but I can't buy a computer here in France because it's the wrong keyboard, French keyboard, so I'll buy one when I'm in Hobart, which is an English keyboard. Anyway, so that's us, and just to remind everyone, we are so lucky to have a whole bunch of volunteers that are actually helping us run the race. The GGR is effectively, the permanent members of the GGR team is Jane and I and Georgie and Rob, our digital manager. And the rest of it really at the moment is surviving on volunteers, which is incredible. And right now, if you haven't seen yet the start of the window live, the GGR window live, which is fantastic and which is under test, there's a lot of things going on there as well. The whole system is being tested, and it's putting the entrance to the test. We've got 8 entrants now signed up. Well, it was 7. It's not really official yet. There's an 8th coming, which is big news for us. We're just waiting for the final official word. It's not officially done yet, but I think we're pretty confident it's probably going to happen. So they're using to work the black boxes. Here's one here, half pulled apart. I don't know whether you can see that. Don't look. There, that's a mission control box. We're mission control here. So we do actually have a live camera here. This is my little tri-peak. Oh, it's still live. It's working now. See, it's trying to track me, but I've got it by the neck. Anyway, this is my live camera. I'll put it back here. So later on, we will actually be part of the program while they're out at sea. We'll be in here, and you can see what's happening in the office and so on. So that's testing, and it's giving us lots of information. Camera angles, microphones. Sometimes the entrance don't disconnect it, and bits and pieces. So we're learning a lot there. We're listening to all the comments on the live, which is really valuable. Also, what people think and opinions and stuff. We have a huge team of moderators on the live, because you'll see there's a very active live chat. If you want to get involved, you just go and watch it, and you'll see it's on the side. Just join the conversation. So 24/7, there will be someone from our team of volunteers monitoring what's going on to make sure no one's saying really bad swear words, or we get rubbish on, let's get infiltrated by scams or anything like that. They moderate all that. And they're also there to answer questions, because the moderators know what's going on. So if you're in that conversation and you want to know something, you can put it up there, and they'll probably be able to give you an answer. And occasionally I'll come up, and Georgie will come up and be able to even join the conversation. But for now, everything is under test. So expect anything, like my reverse camera. It was the right way around, but we lost the audio. So all is fantastic. I think it's fair to say that everyone involved with the Golden Globe is a little bit excited at the moment, because it's about to start happening. Normally in the real world, or not the real world, the perfect world, we would have had sponsors and support for this prologue, and we might have been in another port, like in Spain or Portugal or UK, and the boats would assemble there, and it'd be another way of drawing in another country, and the boats would sail here to the start in Les Sables d'Olonne. But on this edition, we couldn't find anyone that was able to do that, and with our budgets, it actually costs us money to go to another country, so we just don't have that budget. And we're doing it Les Sables to Les Sables, and I think that's worked well, because all the entrants could come here. Les Sables d'Olonne, who support us really well, they offered free berthing for all the entrants from the 1st of July. So I think it was 1st of July, or was it June? June, July, August. No, 1st of July. So any entrants turning up here from the 1st of July, they get free berthing on the marina here, which is great. And for us, it was good too, because we were able to maintain the office and be working direct. So that's kind of cool. And now the SITraN Challenge is on. SITraN, of course, is I should have got the book. Here we go. This is SITraN. This is SITraN, okay, Sheffield Institute Foundation in England, and I've been working with them since 2010 when I did the bounty boat expedition, which is really amazing. Professor Dame Pamela Shaw, that's her there. We've had an interesting relationship, and that's actually Stuart there. He's my mate. That guy there is Stuart Keane. His son was affected and sadly passed with motor neuron disease. That's what it's all about. And they are world leaders in research for not only motor neuron disease, but also Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia. My mother, family were affected with dementia. I probably will be too, if not already. So we're going to try and raise some money for Parkinson's on the way. So as the journey goes over the next 8 months, you'll see we've got a specific Just Giving site for that. And we'll be saying, look, if you like what we do, then how about giving a donation to SITraN? And anyway, more about that later, but you can expect that to be coming. The other thing, I don't say it enough, but everyone keeps telling me, Don, tell them all to like and share and tell your mates and get on it. We're going to really push that. Everyone else does it, but we just let it go with the flow. But if you do like what we're doing, tell your mates, like it, share it, do a comment. Every time you do a comment on anything that's happening here, first of all, with the trackers, as we're doing it, I'll interact with the comments. We can see it. I can see it on the side of the computer. If you've got questions, I will answer the questions and as best I can, and maybe digress with a side story or something. So the trackers are going to be a bit more in depth than they have been in the last 2 editions of the race. But every time you comment, the algorithm picks it up and it pushes it even further. We've got about 60-something thousand followers in GGR. We've got about 19,000 on our subscribers mailing list. So when we do a press release or an update, they get it direct into their email inbox. Okay, and so if you want to be part of that, then subscribe. But certainly for Facebook and YouTube stuff, like it, pass a comment, just keeps it kicking around. And we really think that there's going to be a lot more followers now, especially with the window live. That's going to be very interesting. No one really knows what's going to happen. It is a world first. And the reason we can say that is that, yes, a lot of people have done lives before. We're all interested in following Mara, and we've been trying to work out what we do ourselves. But we are, without question, the first event organizer in the world to offer a full, comprehensive 24/7 attempt at a live all the way around the world. If not for any other yachting event, I don't know any other yachting event that's of any consequence, not just a day one. So we're really trying to bring you a very real experience, and we'll talk more about that along the way. But it's there's a lot of good things happening. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. For those that are here, most won't be here until we actually start the GGR, but here we go. And I've got to say, I'm laughing at the tracker readout for the SITraN Challenge. It is a fun race, but jeepers, stand by. I'm going to now show you the tracker. So there it is there. When we get organised, I'll do a screen-in-screen situation in the future. So I'll be in a little box on the bottom. But for now, we're just going straight for the tracker. So I'm going to hide me. I'm going to hide that and show that I'm back. How come I'm not getting all on the tracker? Well, I'm supposed to stay there.
You just need to
I didn't get on there. Okay, hang on. I got to go.
You need solo on.
Solo on. Hang
the
on.
tracker page.
Yeah. How do I? Okay. So stand by, everybody. I'm on the tracker here.
Go back to the other side, and then solo on.
Solo off. Solo on. There it is. But now it's a little one, eh? See this? Yep. Okay. So you're on the tracker, and then I'm on the tracker. So hopefully you're seeing this in big time. Can you see that, Jing Jing? I just want to make sure you've got it all there before I get cranked up. Here, you got that?
Yeah, but just a little bit small.
A small screen. Why has it done that?
Yeah, no, it's like this one.
Yeah. They can't enlarge it on the thingo, eh? Hang on, everybody. I'll try and get this up. Okay. Let's see. We just stand by. We're trying to modify the screen to get rid of the bits around the edges. Hang on. Stand by. We're still here. Automatic adjust camera size? No. They've changed the software on this as well, so it's a bit. There we go. Whoa! Look at that. Too cool. So just do a check on there, and then I think I can start talking about it. It looks good, Jane. Yeah. Okay, so here we are, everybody. We've survived this lot, and it's the GGR. Okay, but check out the course. This morning when I woke up, so here it is. For those that haven't seen the tracker before, obviously we've sailed out of Les Sables d'Olonne. You can see at the end of the course there, the waypoint, the course itself, they're making very good time, is the dot at the end of the red line. Now, any of the entrants can leave it to port or leave it to starboard because there's no sailing rules. They just got to get around that waypoint, and then they're heading back home, okay? And this morning, you could see, I'll just increase the snail trail here. Okay, that's their course from Les Sables d'Olonne. So if we, and I'll walk you around here, you can see up the top here, it's the date and the time. So it's showing 10:30 UTC at the moment. And that's the weather. I can adjust the weather just by moving this back. That's the 18th of August at 2200 UTC. That's on the 19th of August. So I can give you forecasting, okay, as we go. So I'm going to bring it back to real-time weather today. And you'll see these little arrows coming out here. That's the wind direction. And the wind strength is covered by the scale at the bottom of the screen here. So you can see there, if I now looking at the bottom and look at the color, this light blue, that's 5 knots. I don't know whether you can see the 5 at the bottom. Then there's 10 knots there. When you go over to the green, it's up to 20 knots. So you can see the wind they're getting at the moment is probably around 10 to 12 knots, which is perfect sailing. The wind's moved on the beam. That's why their course is straightened up and they're all heading directly for the waypoint. And then this morning they were all over the place. Now, don't ask me what Lewis did. I got no idea. Louis got lost this morning, and I think they must have fallen asleep. And they were going, pretty close to south, sailing away from the mark, but the others were actually turned around a lot quicker. So if you've been following the tracker, that's what's happening. The wind has been pushing them around. But it was pretty clear from the start, those that held north would get the wind shift quicker and come down. But early in the evening, or late in the evening yesterday, those down the bottom were going faster, but they were going in the wrong direction. So anyway, now there's a big rush on to the finish. And I can show you now another tool that I have. If I come up to the top, I've got a measuring tool here. And I can just go a little bit further up. A lot of you are old timers or regulars here. I can push that and I can measure the distance between these 2 points. And I can tell you the difference from the leaderboard as well, but I'll just tell you my first graphic to let you know who's winning, and that'll be Damien. And Damien has got approximately, if I put it bow to waypoint, you can see I can read up here, he's only 16.35 nautical miles from the waypoint. Okay, from that point there. And then he's got to turn around and head all the way back. And the distance to the next closest boat, which looks like Andrea, which is really quite amazing, is only 10.5 miles behind. So, and had you been looking at the tracker in the last few hours, you would have seen Andrea appeared to be in the lead, right? I'll get rid of the distance one. And the reason he appeared to be in the lead, because he did a manual position shot. So he had a position 2 hours ahead of the last position of Damien, all right? And it made it look as if Damien was behind Andrea. But that wasn't the case. So whenever you get a position here, like if I put my cursor on, you'll see I've got Guy DeBoer up. Hopefully you can see that. He's currently doing 6.4 knots. He's steering a course of 265 degrees. It's the owner, is Spirit. It's him. He got his position on the 17th of August, 26, that's today, at 1200 UTC. So if you see some strange position from someone, you need to see the time of the position plot, and they're giving position plots now every 4 hours. We decide on those positions. We alter it for any boat at any time on a console here in the office, all right? So so you can tell whether it's a current or fresh one or not. Now, you might have seen that Mara fell way behind, and she didn't really fall that far behind, but her position was false this morning. She didn't make the 8 o'clock position. The previous position was 4 o'clock in the morning. So for some reason, her tracker didn't happen at 8 o'clock, whereas everyone else on the fleet had an 8 o'clock position, except for Andrea, who had a 10 o'clock position because he pressed the position button. All right? I hope I explained that. So when you see something strange, often we get glitches, maybe occasionally some tracker won't make the game and it's a bit behind. So always look for how current the position is. But Helga's now back up, or Mara is now back up on 12. Okay, so they're all current positions, and that's a relative scope now of where they're at. So what I usually do is I come to the back here and say, well, Salim is not looking too bad. He had a slow start, but he's doing 4.9 knots. And distance to the finish, distance in the last 24 hours is 69 nautical miles. And that's direct from the previous start position, which is the start line way back here. It doesn't include all the extra miles of tacking, but his course made good and distance made good is 69 nautical miles. Coming up from that, we've probably got Helga. Distance to the finish is 185 miles to the finish. That's up to the waypoint and back again. Okay, Helga's got 185 miles to go. That's the DTF at the bottom. She's currently doing 5.7 knots, and that was a 12 o'clock position, and she sailed 80 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. So this is all the standard information you're going to get. Gunner, 6 knots. He's got 177 miles to go, and he's made 88 miles in the last 24 hours. Okay, so that's what we got. Louis, oh boy. Louis, 80 miles, 79 nautical miles, the distance in the last 24 hours. So on a par, they've been sailing pretty well now. He's hooting 6 knots. That's okay. The beautiful sailing. In fact, I reckon the decks will probably still be dry. He's got Dominic Dubois on board, quite a sailing character, did the OGR. So, and he's checking whether Louis is up to standard and before the family will let him go. But I'm sure they will. He's doing well. Matt, in his Cape George 36, some people call him Grandpa because he is. He's a great guy. He's owned the boat for over 12 years and doing 5.7 knots. So Louis is catching up. He's done 83 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, and he's got 181 to go. So then through here, we've got Issa, 6.1 knots, 91 miles in 24 hours, 174 to go. We've got Etienne, and we're looking after Mako. If you're watching this, Etienne, he's having a ball, but he's been sleeping the last 2 hours since we got back. We've worn him out. So 6.5 knots. That's quick. That's good to see. 95 miles, 170 to go. Etienne, 6.2. That's quick for Etienne. 170 to go. So there's neck and neck. 170 versus 0.4, 0.8. So Etienne is in front of Ayrton. So that's not too bad. 94. 99 miles in the last 24 hours. Pat, I was surprised to see him go south, but he did. But he's recovering now, doing 6.4 knots. So it's a real race. They're in the groove now. It is only for fun, but, you put two yachts side by side. Someone wants to win. We've done Gunner. We've done Issa. Jeremy's on board Issa's boat as well. He was the skipper on board the OE32 back in 22. So then we got Daniel Pinsky, 6 knots. He's doing 90 miles in the last 24 hours and 175 to go. All respectable times because some people, of course, in fact, my last advice for Etienne was Etienne, hold back. Don't show your true form. Let them think you're slow and then go and get them in the GGR. So some may be holding back. Spirit, Guy Debord, 6.4 knots, 172 to go, 93-mile day. All very cool. And Parr lost his Starlink. No, he didn't lose it, but it's just not working, which is bad luck because he's on the window live, and we think it's not the Starlink. It'll be one of the cables or something going in. He's had some electrical challenges, so that was interesting. 6.5 knots, 100-mile day, not bad, more than the others, so he's performing okay. He's ahead of Ayrton in his old boat, and Ayrton's behind in his new boat, which is Matma, which is Jean-Luc Vandenheed's old boat. Does that sound good? Okay, moving right along. Henry, right up there. 6.7, 102 miles a day. Distance to the finish, 163. Okay, and then we've got Guido. Guido's out of the bag here. This is really interesting. So seeing some relative performance against other boats. The Vancouver 34 is a hot boat. And in fact, there's a story there. Shouldn't even be in the GGR, but that's another story for later. And he's a good sailor, so he's right there. He's done everything right so far. He bailed out of the southerly route quicker. If you look back at the history here of his track, the yellow one, the yellow snail trail, you see he was one of the first ones to get out and get back up online because it's clear the wind was going to swing. And you don't want to be down south because if you look at the wind angle here, these guys coming up from down south, it's forward of the beam. It's forward of the beam. It's not to windward work, but even when you watch the live, when I was watching Ayrton moving forward, it was well forward of the beam, 60 degrees, 70 degrees, 75 degrees, whereas these guys, it's right on the beam, and that's faster. So, Guido made a good choice then to get up north. Andrea's going fast, but he's losing height, right? The idea here, if you're up on the mark, you should judge your course and be sort of pretty much on average, but it depends on how quickly it's going to swing, and it's going to swing a little bit more shortly. So a bit of juggling, but he's maybe sailing a little bit low on the course. Who knows? You got to be out there to see. But doing pretty well. 105 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, so that's good. Doing 6.7, nothing wrong with that. Number one, that's what the crown means. 6.3 knots, 114 miles a day. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's not going flat stick. I think, the way just my assumption on what I know about Damon, he'll be having a nice sail. He is sailing a smart course, right? He knows what the weather is. He would have done his homework, worked out what the forecast was. He probably put it through a routing program, which is completely legal. It's only a short race, so you're going to get 3 days of reasonably accurate weather forecast. And it's completely legal to put it through a routing program and make original choices and try different options on the computer. And that's what performance sailors do. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. Whatever he's doing, it's paying dividends. And he's probably, as I say, not going flat out. He's just doing a nice ride, test the systems, do all the comms, all that sort of stuff. But he's in the lead, and he's got where are we here? Distance to finish 140 miles. He's doing 6. He's going to be in early. It's only jeepers. They'll be back in very early on Wednesday. I should have moved the waypoint, but it's going to go light. So that's the whole fleet. I'll just do a quick pass on the weather now back to Les Sables d'Olonne. You can see where it sits right there. I'm going to slowly move this. So every time I notch that, it's going back 3 hours, and you can see the wind is increasing. So 6 hours from now, you do not want to be coming up from the bottom here, because you see what's happening. The wind is swinging to the northwest, and this was clearly on the forecast days ago, right? So if you're down here and you've got to get up there, you can see what happened now. 6 hours, I'll tell you where Lewis is going to be in 6 hours. 6 6s are 36, so if I come up here, you might just make it. But the wind, that's the shift already. So what you're going to find is Lewis is going to slow down, and the tail enders down here, which is Matt, they're going to be struggling to get up and get around it. So that's going to increase the distance between the leaders, so the weather you're seeing here, Lewis will be lucky to be there. In fact, he won't make 6 knots. I reckon he's going to be about back here somewhere, right? And he's going to have to do another, if this forecast is correct, another 20 miles to windward, because that's nearly 45 degrees on your course. See if that's your course. So he's going to fall down here somewhere, and then he'll be struggling to get up to that. He'll have to sail right out here before he can tack to come across. So that's why you don't want to be down here. Anyone that's sailing on the rum line here is looking okay. But the game's going to change. Salim's going to be the same. It's going to be on the nose then, and he might fall down here. So the ones rushing to get around have played the game correctly. So I'll get rid of that again and come back here. So that's on the 17th. It's 6 hours. There's 9 hours. There's 12 hours, and then it dies off. So by late tomorrow, the wind will be dying off, but those that got around quicker, like Damien and the leaders here, they'll already be backtracking down here, and they've got the wind on the quarter. They'll have big asymmetrics up or something, and they'll be hightailing it. They'll be creaming it, just really heading back. Oh, no, go quiet. But still not bad. They'll have big spinnakers up, flat water, not much wind then, but then fortunately it does by the time the others get around. Now, this is probably only 5 to 10 knots, which is not fast. The sea state will be down low. Anyway, that's going to be interesting. So that's generally what's happening. They've got to get out and around. Now, I can tell you what the sea state's going to be. This is where I look at waves. And, yeah, that's only less than a metre, all right? And the scale for that, so you drop that down, and here's all the clouds, the current, the temperature, any currents. There's a bit of current pushing you down. So that's okay. This is for tomorrow. I'll come back to now. The current's still pushing away. And, okay, everything here, when you see these colours, you say, well, how do you work out the speeds? If you come down the bottom here, you can see any of this brown stuff is like about 3/4 of a knot, and that's going that way. If it's in the blue, it's 0. There's 0 knots current. Then the brown is about 8 knots. As soon as it starts to go tinge purple, it's 1 knot. If it's deep purple, it's 1.5 knots against you. So there's some current there. They've also got to watch out for fishing boats and things like that. So that's where I get current from. I can show you clouds if I want to, but it's not so relevant. But that's pretty clear clouds right now. Any rain, there'll be no rain, so it's 0. I can show you the temperature. So that's yellow. What's yellow mean for temperature? This is for those that this is your first tracker. There's the colours here. Temperatures in the 20s. If it gets starting to go red, it's getting in higher heights. So it's probably 22. It's beautiful sailing. Whatever's going on, they're having a great time. So I think that's enough. I've overloaded the information on this one. But you can see we come back to wind. Meant to be arriving on Tuesday afternoon, but either way, once they get around the corner, it's all following wind directions and great sailing. So they're going to have a good time, and I think we'll see the early ones in on Wednesday morning, and the others will come in during the day on Wednesday. They'll move on to the Vendée Marina, and that's about it. I can show you, for those that want to know, want to see the details of the teams, that's where you just go to the side to pop it out. okay, and then you want to see the leaderboard. This is all the statistics we just went through. So they're stacked in order of progression towards the finish line. Damien's coming first. Here's the start time. It's all the same. Distance to the finish, right, and distance sailed. So the one on the top, so Damien's got 148 nautical miles to go to the finish, and underneath it, he's done 128 nautical miles. Okay, and then Andrea's done 160 nautical miles because, and he's got a distance to the finish. So he's 12 miles behind Damien. See that? 148 versus 160. So that's how you work out the distance apart. This is the VMG, which that's vector made good towards the mark. And this is all from the start. As there's days progressing, you can change it to recent. When they're 50, say 10,000 around the world, you go for recent, give more relevant information. But more about that later. That's it. So anyway, you can see who's coming, what, where, and why. There's Lewis back to the bottom there. So that's stacking in the order of progress towards the finish. Okay, I think you've got enough for now, and I'll come back and say g'day. So if I press that, that says that's not right. I need to be further along here. Stand by. There I am. Solo off, solo on. There's me. Boom, back to front. Remove your camera from screen. You should be able to hear me. So note your audience won't hear you again. You should be hearing me now. Hopefully. Can you just check, Tintin?
Yeah, you are fine.
Okay, got to take my breath. So that's a big intro to what's going on, but good to see people there. I can see exactly how many people there. There's about 9,000 on Facebook and about 5,000 on YouTube. Wow, joke. It's an Aussie joke. I get in trouble for that later on. I'm just going to now scroll through the comments and see if there's anyone looking for answers or questions. We've been going for cheapest, nearly half an hour already. Got the video and sound, thanks. Good to see familiar names. Kathleen, has anyone talked to Starlink about sponsorship? There's no point trying, so no. We understand the world of sponsorship, and we've talked to a lot of people about sponsorship, but honestly, we've never approached Starlink, but I think it'd be nigh impossible. If you know anyone there, go for it. And we probably should, but there's a lot of amazing things happening with Starlink, but let's see. And it takes a lot of time to do the sponsorship thing really well. And I've got to say, I just got another one, nothing to do with GGR. I'm trying to get a sponsor for Explorer for the OGR. And we had a really hot prospect and went really nuts. And we did a lot of work and blah, 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 blah. And then just dead silence now for a couple of months. They just disappear. So it's at times, yes, it's frustrating. It takes a lot of time, effort, and actually money to deal with sponsors, just trying to find the sponsors. But anyway, that's life. We're no complaints. We never expect anything, and we're really happy to be here. And it's very exciting for us as the team, GGR team, to see the entrants having a ball. They're living the dream, and we're all very lucky because the world's mixed up right now. And so all is good. Gary, have GGR open on 3 live screens right now. That's my work over for the next 7 months. Okay, good on you, Gary. Yeah, it's kind of fun. What's going on. Oh, I didn't mention about Colm. Colm turned up, really cool. We did the little live, and we've been spending the morning with him, catching up and ideas and stuff. But it's official now. We'll mention it later again, but it's official. He's decided that it's not right for him to continue in the GGR for 26. He will focus on 2030 now. So he's officially retired. He's in all the stuff. It's too late to change anything, but he has enjoyed his sailing adventure from the west coast of America, and we'll talk more about that later on. But it's now official. He has retired from the GGR. G'day, Rachel. Good to see you again. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So Rachel was our resident artist. She painted every mini 580 Globe 580, our Alma Globe 580 in the MGR. She's quite a follower. I just found this tracker by Googling. Good on you. There's a lot of fun. This is just the practice. Again, this is only the SITraN Challenge, but the GGR proper will start on the 26th of September in about a little under 3 weeks, which is cool. Yep, Mara's out there on the live. James, Don learns technology in real time. Okay, I used to be able to program video cassette tape players. You know those things? Anyway, we're here, and we're all having fun, and we do the best we can, but it's, yeah. Okay, Mara had a great hour when her tracker came back online. Yep, she's doing okay. They all are. In fact, Mara's a real surprise in many, many ways from the time I first met her, a long time ago on the cat, going around the world with Doc, to now. Wow, impressive, as are all the entrants. So there's some good stuff happening. Nightbot, g'day. You can track the races here. Sailors are doing the GGR SITraN Challenge Prologue. Yep. Select the option. Yeah, Nightbot's there for. We've got various admins. I can't find the playback tool. Is it available in public version? Okay, I failed to mention the tracker that I'm using for these updates comes from the website. It's not the one you have on your app. Okay, most of you have probably found if you're looking at apps, you just go YB Races. That's where you find the app. When you're on YB Races, just look for the Golden Globe race. You'll see Golden Globe race pop up. And then now we're on SITraN Challenge. It's not the actual Golden Globe proper. So, and you get a reasonable amount of information on your app, right? Everything you need to follow it. You get the leaderboard, you get the track, and you can, pick individual information of boats. However, if you get on the website, if you're at home or sitting somewhere, and get on to our live, you just go GGR website, right? And you'll see there's boxes. Just scroll down on the homepage, and you've got all these boxes. You just hit the box, and you've got the whole lot, everything. You can take your pick, and you hit the tracker update, and you go to the big tracker, and you can get all the information I just got you. And I didn't show you everything then. I showed you about half of the information I can put up on the screen, which becomes very relevant when we're doing the whole thing, following them around the world. And you get all the current weather, you get the weather forecast for a week, you can preempt what's happening. We'll know what's going on with the entrance, so we'll be talking about that. You can ask questions and everything, and it's amazing to follow on for the year. You'll learn quite a lot about weather and all sorts. And then I didn't even mention the Fairwinds virtual GGR. Now, if you're into virtual gaming, you should give it a try because it's really good. It's the best one we've had. These guys have come on strong, and they're going to do a 3D version shortly. And you can practice your celestial navigation. You can learn about celestial, so it's all cool. So there's lots of different things you can do, but the main tracker is available from the website, not from the app. Okay. Let me see if I scroll this down. Rachel, interesting stuff in a different thing. Yep. So I have it now. Good on you. The PC version has more functions than the phone. Absolutely. Just what that someone put that on there. So thanks for that. Sales only, one of our admins from one of our moderators from the thing. G'day, mate. Steve, who are enjoying the GGR stream, please like and share as always. Yeah, it really does help. Thanks, Steve. He's we've got a group of 3 of the moderators who have formed the management of the moderators. So I'm not really involved. I know most of them. They're all going to get hats and volunteer T-shirts later. Then we'll do a group shot, and you'll get to meet them. We'll put their profiles up on the website so you can get to know some of the moderators on the window live, which is quite a big deal. We're excited. We're learning a lot at the moment, and stand by. It's going to get very polished by the time we get started, we hope. Don just used a standard tool online. There's someone giving me a hard time here. Face red heart shape.
That's me.
Oh, that's Jane. She's sitting over there, or over, that way. Anyway, what is the typical speed of these boats? Average 5-6 knots. Thanks, Thinger. Sales online, great insight. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, and we can't get it all out now. We'll do it all again later because not everyone's watching this one, but it gets a lot more, when we get started. But it's good to see everyone. Ham Pink. Jane's giving me more instructions. Higher sales. Kingsley. Hello, go. Oops, need to change the screen settings. Yeah, we're doing all that. Nights, g'day, night shift. How often do position of the boat icons update? Every 4 hours, okay? So we have a console on our software that we can control the output of all of them. And they have 3 trackers on board. They've got what we call the YB3i, which is hardwired to the boat's power. It's like a GPS antenna on the back of the boat, and it keeps pinging away. That's the one that feeds direct to the tracker. But we have a YB3, which is one of these. I just happen to have one on my desk, one of these little portable ones. That's set to give us a position every 12 hours so that we know it's on. You don't see that 12-hour position because you don't need it. But we get it to say it's on and standby, and we can send emergency messages to all of the entrants individually or as a group, and that's what we use for emergency comms for that. And they can take this into the life raft with them, the YB3. And if the YB3i fails, we will transition and use one of these to give the boat positions. And we upgrade that 12 hours to every 4 hours and put it on the screen. So it's a backup tracker, and there's another one of these in their panic bag. So that's as important for us as the actual EPIRB, because these batteries last 3 months. Not that they're going to be drifting for 3 months, but we can get regular positions. And if someone's in trouble, we close the positions down to every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes, and we can message off that. So it's the YB3s don't replace an EPIRB, but they're very handy. Okay, all the information. Thanks, Michael. Sales only. G'day. Thanks, Paul Platt. Jeepers. We are what we are. G'day, Mark. Jane is always filming, or will she make an appearance? No, Jane doesn't like being on TV. You know, she hates her. Hey, Jane, look at this. Look. Oh, I shouldn't have showed the messy desk. I'm in trouble now. Anyway, Jane doesn't like being on screen, but she's quite cute and it blew me away yesterday or the other day when she was filming the live. I forget what it was for now. What was it for? I can't remember. She took all the photos as well, and the photo gallery was amazing. Anyway, why did you choose the 4-hour interval for the prologue? Well, it starts off closer together at the beginning. We have a program, it's automatic. So as they cross the start line and keep going, it's about every hour or something. And that'll happen as well when they get closer to the finish. So after they're about 50 miles out, you'll see the 4-hourly closes down into 2 hours. And as they get about 20 miles out, it goes into hourly. And then as they cross the finish line, it's real time. So because every ping costs money and the entrants pay for that, they subsidize. They got to pay. I forget how much it is now. It's about 100 and something euro for every 3 months to buy units. We buy something like 20,000 credits in bulk, and each time you ping, you use a credit and things like that. So, but 4 hours is enough for normal day to day when you're out there, and that's what you're seeing now. But as they get round, it'll close up. It seems to work pretty well. Okay, James, are the sailors aware of each other's positions when the inbound boats are coming back? Well, at the moment, they may well be, because there's no restrictions on using a GPS or chart plotter or satellite comms or anything you like. They're normal phone. There's no restrictions on that. And yes, even the guys with Starlink, they've got access to the internet now on board, which will be restricted after they leave in the GGR. But for now, there'll be a few of them watching the tracker and stuff like that, so they do. But during the race, they have no idea. They don't see any of the tracker information. No one's allowed to give any GPS positions of any entrant via radio or anything like that from the tracker or from marine traffic, from their AR signals. That's banned. The entrants don't know. The only way they'll know another entrant's position is using their HF radio to talk to another entrant. So, and you may remember the finish. Kirsten had no idea where Abelish was at the end. She thought he would have finished half a day or a day or so before her, and she gets in and she's, what? I won? Ooh, but that's part of what it was like in the good old days back in '68. Hang on, is that Jacob? No, Jake. No, from Ireland. Yeah, g'day. Thanks for everything. Thanks a lot, and Terry's. It's all a lot of fun. We enjoy it too. When I keep my voice full. Hi, hi. There's, yep, g'day, everybody. A lot of familiar faces. You can track the races here. Yep, cool. Nightbot, weather, boom, Gold Globe. Okay, that's it. So our phones have an emergency satellite SOS connectivity since iPhone 14.2. Not that they will have those on board. No, exactly. It's all there. How come they can use solar panels? Oh, well, yeah, the solar panels and wind generators and water generators are a safety device. That's the reality. Solar panels didn't really exist commercially back then, but that doesn't matter. Power is pretty important. They don't need much, but the rule is they have to have a minimum number installed and they have to have at least one, which is mobile. So they can put it down below in a storm, and if everything else gets wiped out, they've got a minimum 50-watt panel, I think it is, they can put out and sit in the cockpit, plug it into the system and get enough to make power for their satellite phones and so on. So there's a lot to go through about what's happening. And Stig, Don, I'd appreciate if you could take time to reply. Best wishes from Norway. I'm not sure what I've missed, Dig, but anyway, we've been absolutely flat out in the last few days. I'm a bit behind on my emails and stuff like that, and we'll get back eventually, but it's hectic to say the least. And now the problem is the entrance is going to be back earlier than we expected. We thought we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday's nearly gone. Well, it looks like we're going to get Tuesday, then it'll be back on for Wednesday. But we'll see. We'll be setting up for the village now, or our little village. We've got a pavilion there. We've got to do all that, and all that starts tomorrow. And all the boys, during the GGR, isn't it possible for the entrance to radio passing ships to get their positions? How is it checked? Yes, it is. In fact, that's the tradition of the sea. Not only can they get their position, latitude and longitude, they can also seek any weather information. And the reason for that is it's tradition of the sea. So they can say, hey, the officer of the watch on the bridge, you got internet? If they say yes, they say, can you get windy or predict wind? And if they say yes, they say, well, can you get on and give us some latest information, blah, blah, blah. And it's all legal under the rules. But they can't do that with anyone on shore in any other way, even by radio. It's only ships at sea, and that's always the way it's happened at sea. So that's kind of there, and it's an opportunity. But they have to log every communication they have with anyone on the outside like that. They have a communication book, and we check it at the end of the race. They've got to pass in all of their navigation calculations all the way around the world for the celestial navigation. We check all of that. And in fact, we've got Natalia here at the moment. She's a Russian sailor who wanted to join the GGR, but unfortunately couldn't. She's here assisting us as a volunteer, and she's testing and checking all of the entrant navigation notes from their prologues, from their qualifying voyage, okay? And they have to submit all their calculations for at least 6 or so fixes, not just one observation that gives a position line. It's a fixed plotting sheets onto the chart. She's checking all that and make sure they know how to do it. So when they leave, that we know they're all safe on their celestial observations. So there's a lot going on there. So Stig sent me an email. Could you take the time to reply? I'll try to. There's a list, but I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. Okay, thanks for that. I got to get off. This is going too long. But anyway, this is so exciting, Don. Can't believe me and my dad was just visiting you on your boat in Buda Marina. Now he is participating in the GGR. Amazing. Who's that? Oh, yeah, that's okay. That's Par's daughter. Yeah, we met in Buda. We got another boat over there called Adventure. We're in Buda a lot. Anyway, my number one second home is over in Buda. Okay, that's it. I'm out of here. So thanks for following, everyone. We'll do the same thing again tomorrow at 12 just to get into the swing of it. This is training again and practice for us. So we'll see how it happens. Now I'm going to sign out. Thanks a lot. Like and share and tell everyone, and enjoy the ride. And I'll see if I can get out of here in one sequence. Oh, that didn't work. There you go. See you later, everybody. Thanks. Holy dooly.